Okay, happy Sunday, lovely people. This is my day 4 of my Facebook Live challenge. So I'm going to be doing it on financial freedom and really wanting to have a look at a bit of detail on the article that I've just linked up the top so you guys can follow along with that. Yeah, it's got the notes, but the cool thing is we can just elaborate on here and field any questions you guys have got. So really keen to hear any questions you have about the topic of financial freedom, and specifically, what I've done to be able to have it for almost a decade. So essentially, this is something that I cover a lot of in my lifestyle architecture and financial freedom mentoring that I do in person or over Skype, and I basically directly guide you and anyone who's I'm meeting with basically in how to create financial freedom in their own lives using businesses specifically. So it's another cool thing I want to do is basically anyone who is watching this feed, I'm going to give a free session away for you if you want to have your first session for free and basically meet with me and see where your life is at and what we can start to do to start implementing the steps that you need to go through to be able to become financially free. So if you have any questions for this feed, please ask me now. A good point as well is I want to basically show you how to subscribe. If you're rewatching this, if this is not live for you, which it is for many people, you can actually tap in and get my feed for your phone, and it'll tell you exactly when I'm going live so you can join in with us. So I'll just show you a little picture here of my brother Zulu Flow Zion, who's doing a Facebook Live challenge with me, and we're doing a video every day for the next 7 days, probably for the next month. It's going really, really well. So you can see in the top corner there, that's where it says live notifications. You can just click on that and it will turn to that, and you'll be able to get my content on the daily for the next week at least. So let's kick into it. Hello, Cam, by the way. Oh, it's Cam, my sexy guitar teacher himself has rocked up, as well as Jason and Natalie, and we have Mike as well, of course. Thank you, guys. Oh, a recommendation from Mike for my mentoring. Thank you, man. That's beautiful. Thank you. What is one of the biggest things you've gotten out of being mentored by me, man? Just a quick question. Okay, now, so kick into it. So this article, you've got a link there for it. It talks about essentially my definition. So my definition for financial freedom back then when I was first gunning at it and I really wanted to have all the money and time in the world was basically having a six-figure income, 120K a year, AUD, and working for less than half an hour a week. Obviously, I didn't just work for half an hour a week, but having the option of only having to work for that amount of time. So today, though, I define that as passively earning enough income so that you can cover all of your needs and many of your non-extravagant wants, right? In this day and age with the cost of technology just skyrocketing down, and there's all this crowd-funded and crowd, it's the word I'm looking for, sharing economy, the sharing economy that's happening right now with things like Uber, and there's a travel agency I'm checking out that does a sharing economy model for their business. It brings costs right down on many of those needs. So we really don't need a lot to be able to be financially free today, much, much less than we needed 10 years ago. So if you wanted to do that, the things I outline here is basically, first off, this is only to business, by the way. So with investments, it's a different story. It is something I'm checking out right now. So if you know any really good investments going around, or if you know a lot about investments, I'd love to connect with you. Maybe we can do a value trade on business knowledge for investment knowledge. But I'm really looking deep into property and even shares. So so the first thing is to experience all parts of the business. So obviously, when you're starting off a business, the first thing you're going to be doing is everything, right? So if you're the only person there, you're going to be doing all aspects of the business. Great book called E-Myth by Michael Gerber, if you wanted to check out that aspect of it. So being able to recognize that there's 3 roles. I do mention them here in the article: technician, manager, and owner. And so the technician is the person who's doing the actual work of the job. So it could be sales, it could be putting little bits and bobs together, but the actual person who does the product or service, and then you want to be that person. Having experienced that, as the manager, you're going to know, no, actually it doesn't take you 4 hours to do that thing, it takes you 1. So you'll be able to manage your staff more effectively, having experienced that aspect of the business. So of course the next is the manager, so the person who essentially looks after all the people. They're the people person. The two aspects of business to make a successful business is systems and people. Systems and people. So becoming the manager is where you really start looking at the people of the business and some of the systems, the daily systems that are involved in running and operating a business, and then you'll start to experience those and know what it's needed, what it's like to run a business on the ground and look after the people, the rosters, all that kind of thing. So do that as well, and then you become the owner. So the whole time, obviously, you're operating on all three of these levels when you start off a business. But the intention is that as you go day by day, week by week, year by year into the business, you'll start stepping more and more away from the technician and the manager role and more into just the owner role itself. So essentially, strategic planning, running board meetings, things like that, the things that you really shouldn't be escaping doing, and I have escaped doing those things a bit over the years, but you certainly shouldn't be doing that, and just keeping up to date with what's happening in the business. So the second is to incentivize ownership within your business for the key person. So once you've got a business, and I wouldn't be doing this for quite a while, I'd say once you're up to about 10, 20 employees, you can definitely start looking at it. Once you're up to the sort of the 10 or 20 mark in your business, then you can start to look at how do I find the key players and the people who are really going to make a massive difference in the business and incentivize them to stay motivated, stay inspired by having a partial share in the business. Now, one of the things you can do is you can create a growth curve where you essentially give off more and more of that pie of your business over time to somebody who's shown loyalty, who's shown capability of being able to run, and not just run the business, but grow the business. So definitely want to be doing that. So I'm just going to check in with you guys. Thank you, Jason. Another one of my mentees on the chat there. Thank you for your kind words. Did you get this during live? Or at the moment, I'm lagging again. So hopefully you guys aren't seeing too much lag. Let me know if it's on your end or my end. I'm on Wi-Fi, so it should be all right. So the third thing is to leverage yourself out of the business. And by the way, if you have any questions, this is your opportunity to do this while you're live. Just throw anything that, let's bounce off each other, because whatever you're thinking, it's likely that one of the other, 13 people are thinking the similar thing. And I'd love to address that point. So this is kind of like a group conversation. I'm just sort of facilitating as much of it as possible. I'd love to have your input, so feel free to say some stuff here. Leverage yourself out of the business. So obviously, you're going to be in it the whole time when you're first starting, and you step by step, you're going to want to take yourself out of the business. So I cover 5 things that were basically a modified version of Eisenhower's decision matrix. So whenever anything comes across your desk, and you can do this with life, it doesn't have to just be with business, but do it with life as well. Look at it and go, okay, well, first off, is it not important and not urgent, then frankly, these days I'll just leave it. Don't even bother with it. There's so many things coming at us every day. I love you too, Aaron. So many things coming at us every moment of every day in our businesses and our lives. We can just leave those things and just really let them go. So it's more than just sort of ignoring it and sort of just suppressing it. There's a process you can do. We can just go, look, I don't need to do this. I'm releasing this, and therefore it'll stay out of your mind, stay out of your heart, and you can focus on the stuff that's more important. So the second level is urgent and very important. So those things, obviously, they're quite timely, so you need to pretty much do them immediately. They're the most important thing. So the next checklist is this thing is due tomorrow, whatever. Just do it straight away. Don't even schedule it. Just go straight into it. Get it done in your couple of hours of power if you have those, and I'll speak about those in another video. Your hours of power in the morning. The second is urgent but not very important. So that's where you want to start delegating these things to your key person. Remember, we're now talking about the upper end of what is a small business. So 10, 20 mark. You want to be delegating that to your key person, but giving them a deadline. So you don't have to worry about chasing it up. You might have to worry about chasing it up if they're not good. You'll know that it's going to be done by a certain time and trust that person to do that. So the next is to something is very important and not urgent. And for those things, you want to delegate them to your key person with a deadline. Sorry, I just repeated it. So very important, not urgent. Schedule it into your calendar with a deadline. And that's, the things that are owner level stuff. And you want the owner level tasks you want to schedule for yourself to be done, so you know it's done the way that you need it to be done. A lot of the time it might be complicated as well, so you might be the only person with a skill set, or it's just that important you have to do it. So do that. The last one is the important but not urgent category, and that's where you'll add that to some kind of to-do list or a thing that you've got it in space, not necessarily in time. So the one before, you're putting something into time and space in your calendar. And then the last one is you're putting it just into space, so that if and when you come back to it, if you're bored or looking for new ideas, then you can look at that list and get that stuff done. Obviously no deadline because it's not urgent. So the level of importance of what a key person can take will obviously increase over time. So that person, as they get more skill and as they just get more experience in your business, they'll be able to take on those roles as you go on. So the last one is to keep 2 fingers on the pulse. So this is a process that I aim to do once a month. Sometimes I miss the month. You have a 2-hour check-in with the key people in your business, and you want to see, first off, are we going bankrupt? No. Okay, good. Next, what is happening on the strategic level, month by month, and even week by week. Obviously, if you're just starting this, you want to be knowing week by week and even day by day what's happening in your business, that much of a finger on the pulse. But eventually, you can get to a point where you can step back and just come in for this meeting once a month. And obviously your strategic input, being the owner of the business, and you'll need to be giving permission to certain decisions that are of a certain caliber and importance. So that's where you'll be able to take those things and chunk them all into 2 hours a month. And there you go. You'll be basically having the option of only working half an hour a week and being able to direct your passion and your talents towards your business or towards certain key projects in the business that you might be wanting to work on, or just other parts of your life. If your focus is intimacy or family, then you can spend a lot more time there. One of the blessings I've had from being able to be where I'm at in my life is that when something happens, and the big stuff still happens and big tragedies happen, I'm able to put my full focus, love and attention on that particular issue and resolve it, hopefully before it spirals out of control. It's not going to say it's not going to happen, but it certainly might. So we're talking green level, Mr. Zulu Flow. So where are we at in the timer? We've got probably, I've committed to 15 minutes to doing this chat for 15 minutes because I'm noticing people are coming on, at around the 10-minute mark. So I'm going to try and experiment with a 15-minute thing. So I'll answer that in a moment. Actually, I'll talk to that. So the first thing I want to say as well is, if you're live on the stream right now, you can click on the follow button in the bottom right while you're here. It should be the bottom right where the chat is, and then that way you'll be able to get my videos as they come. I would love to have a like and a share. That like love really does matter to me, and I really appreciate it. I'm just giving you guys some like love here as well. And yes, so oh my goodness, I just deleted Jason's comment. Sorry, I'm gonna find a way to undo that. Anyway. And yes, we got another one here. Are you broadcasting from a noon handheld device? I am. It is noon now. It's in Melbourne, and we are on a handheld device. So another cool thing you can check out is Roger Hamilton's wealth spectrum, and that's basically an understanding, a map of where we are in regards to wealth. So where we are in the levels of development of wealth. And you can go all the way from being a victim, all the way through to being a player, a performer, a composer, a trustee, and up to a legend in wealth, someone like Steve Jobs. And Roger actually maps out the pathway to doing that. So, before my book comes out, it is certainly the most recommended pathway to understanding where we are in wealth and how to create your own financial freedom. Because as soon as you get to the green level, you can start actually becoming financially free. That's the point. And the green level is where you've got a company and you're basically performing the role of manager, really, or a specific role, I should elaborate that, on a specific role within the team whilst there's a business around you. So certainly check his work out there. The Genius U test online is a free way of getting into his work and understanding what he's about. He covers the philosophy of wealth, and I'm doing my best to sort of learn from that and be able to give you guys some gold out of that as well. So I'm posting links up. They should be there. There should be a link at the very top of this cast right now, live. And hey, Danny and Rose. How we doing, guys? Any final questions before I go? First breath I've taken. There you go. Yes, Google that. Wealth Dynamics, Roger Hamilton. You know what? I think that's a good one. I think we've reached 15 minutes there, and we've got some good gear out there. So hope you guys get a lot out of this and are able to start taking steps towards your financial freedom. Obviously, I mentioned that at the start of the cast, if I'm giving away a free first session via Skype or in person for my financial freedom mentoring or my lifestyle architecture, if you like the way I groove and move in the world, then I'll be happy to sit with you and ask the right questions and give some guidance towards being able to create that. Feeling the chi bombs and the spirit power. Zulu and I are doing a cast challenge. So it's like a Facebook live cast challenge every day where sorry, I'm just doing some of Zulu's breathing recommendations. So I move very fast. So yeah, he's recommending some spirit power over my way. Thank you for that, mate. Kenny. Yes, thank you, sir. And hi to Brian, Mike. People try and do this first session equals value. Yes. So yeah, I'd love to meet with you at some point. Anyway, I've talked that out to the end point. So I will catch you funky freaks tomorrow. Thank you so much for being on the cast. Sitting on 17, so I might have to look at doing a 20-minute cast tomorrow. But make sure you click on that follow button, as I've said at the start of the video. If you're rewatching this, or just the follow button right here if you're here right now, and I'll let you know what's content's coming up tomorrow. And love all your faces. Take care. Ciao.